Hi everyone, this is basically a sample video which I'm publishing on YouTube. It's a full-length drawing video showing the process, how I create my designs for Redbubble, and this is roughly uncut. Unless something really drastic happens, I'm not going to stop recording or make any cuts in the video. And I just wanted to give a bit of a sample for people who consider or who are thinking about supporting me on Patreon, what to expect with the exclusive content. So today we'll try something a bit more flowery. I want to create one of these grid-like patterns, but with the organic part in the center of it. So we'll try to create something flower-like for the whole thing. And I heard that a lot of people like full-length drawing videos, and hopefully this will be popular with others. And if my narration is annoying, you can just mute it. I don't mind. So a lot of people like just to watch what's going on, or you can play your favorite music in the meantime. I will not be insulted. Okay, well, the whole concept behind my drawings is that I limit myself. I'm not drawing just whatever I want with these designs. I'm using only these crescent-like shapes, or these wave-like shapes, these tiles. And basically the rule is that it has 2 points and maximum 2 bends in it. Because I noticed that with this method, I simplify what I'm doing at the moment, but I can basically bit by bit build up something really complex and interesting. And it's also sort of a meditational method or process. But it's also sometimes turning into sort of a riddle, what this image wants to be, what direction it wants to grow, basically. I don't have a specific idea what I want to draw. I have just like a vague intention about it, but sometimes the whole image just wants to be something else, just wants to grow into something else. And then, yeah, I have to go with it and let it develop into whatever it wants to be. And as you see, this method is not very quick, not very fast at any rate. Usually a picture like this, it's like roughly 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters, so 4 by 4 inches. It usually takes about an hour to finish. Depends on the complexity and how many mistakes I make. Although it's with this method, it's not very possible to make mistakes, but because when you have a little accident where the ink flows in the wrong direction, or you accidentally go over the line, you just keep going on, make that part of the image. It is growing with the image. But sometimes I do manage to mess up the whole thing, like spectacularly. And then I have to reevaluate my life choices in a way. Okay. Yeah, let's go into the flowery petal thing. You might find it weird why I have the pen covered up. I don't have any affiliate marketing links or anything like that, and I don't know yet if the company making these pens would appreciate seeing their pens in my videos. So that's for the future to settle. So at the moment I'm playing it safe and I'm covering it up with a bit of tape. But then again, if the pen company will not support me, then maybe the tape company will, because it actually makes it quite comfortable to have a good grip on the pen with this tape on it. Let's just open this up a bit. Yeah, sometimes the pattern can become a bit repetitive. Then you can just deviate a bit and then make it more interesting. Just open one of the waves a bit to the side, or make a curve larger or flatter. And very, very minute differences can alter the entire flow of the image. You might not see on the on the video footage, but when I keep going back to these places, which already seems to be fully covered, I'm just making sure the ink coverage is more thicker itself, because sometimes the paint or the ink and the paper just contracts and dries out, and the whole thing ends up in something really, really not nice, and has a whole bunch of gaps and flaws in it. So to prevent it during the initial painting or drawing process, I already go back and just soak the paper a bit more. Well, not the most ink-saving method, but seeing how some people just pour buckets of paint on canvas and just spin things around or make some finger marks on them, I think I'm still doing a bit better. Although that's also art and can be really interesting. I'm really bad to see the waste happening with those type of paintings. Okay, now we are getting somewhere. And yeah, the main idea is that whenever I'm making a shape in whatever form, or one of these tiles, or whatever you want to call it, the next one should sort of smoothly fit next to it. Like no sudden diagonal breaks in the flow can be seen. Just everything is very nicely, smoothly creating the continuation of the pattern. And sometimes with these shapes, quite three-dimensional results can be created. For example, with this one, if I alter it a bit, it can turn into something like a stag horn, or some twisting, I don't know, tentacle or whatever. So you can really fool around with this, and the results can be really surprising. Especially if you have a bigger picture and you start moving it around in front of people, and they can get a bit nauseous sometimes. And just this morning I actually managed to find a name for this style, because it's since I don't know what I'm drawing, I don't know what the end result's going to be, and most of the time the end result just tells something to the viewer. So I might see something in it, but others might see some completely different hidden patterns. So in that sense, it's basically abstract work, but I'm not splashing things around, but I'm actually drawing very specific parts of it. So I think I'll just coin the phrase controlled abstraction. And hopefully it will catch on. Okay, still going on. This is still the easy part when you're just building the whole pattern. Later on, when you're sort of running out of space, if you're making it really crowded or dense image, it turns into sort of a riddle. Like you have to find a way in the whole thing, that how to fill out some of the parts, how to not break the flow of the pattern. Let's get a bit messy here. Yeah, you might see that I'm mainly using my fingers with the drawing, so I'm not working in large areas or from the shoulder as it's supposed to be done with drawing. The reason is I got fairly shaky hands doing this, so I need the support of the table to make sure that it doesn't jump here and there. Although if I would be doing it in the form of a larger painting, it most likely wouldn't matter much. For example, the gap between two tiles wouldn't be 1 millimeter, but like 2-3 centimeters. But for that, you would need a canvas, easel, paint, brushes, a separate room with good ventilation, and a whole bunch of things which require quite a bit of budget, which I don't have at the moment. So if you would like to see more complex images or larger paintings or things like that, then you can support me on Patreon. Links in the description. Sorry for the shameless self-advertising, but it is still part of it. That's what a lot of artists forget, that living through your art and for your art is fine if you have people who take care of the rest of it, the money stuff. But nowadays, you do actually have to be sort of a businessman as well. You have to take care of advertising yourself and telling people that you even exist and that your works exist and what's going on. But after a bit of practice, you can build it into your schedule. And I just messed up this part. Okay. You see, there was a small mistake and it already required a bit of alteration of the pattern of this tile. Okay. Let's go on. So now, this one is a bit off-center, as I see, so we will have to fill it out a bit. Otherwise, when I make it into a pattern for any of the items available on Redbubble, it will look kind of off, kind of misaligned. Sometimes it brings out a really interesting pattern, but mostly it just seems sort of not right. Okay. Now here we are getting close to a riddle part. This is when you draw yourself into a corner, so to say. So how not to break the flow and still make it look sort of natural, especially with shaky hands. Yeah. Something like that. Not rushing, being patient. Okay. Now let's see. Yes, I'm turning the paper, and that's usually a big no-no in artistic circles, because I don't want to cover the camera with a whole bunch of extra movement on the paper, above the paper. So we're working with one side at the moment. Okay, this one seems a bit empty here. I'm just stopping sometimes to check if I'm still in front of the camera. I'm still sort of getting used to drawing like this. Usually these type of drawings were made during work in the office or sitting around somewhere, huddled up in a corner. Okay. Sometimes you have to go really, really light on the paper, just barely touching it without making big pressure on it. And also after a while you have to calculate with the fact that the paper is starting to bend because of all the ink it's soaked up. Now I tried to tape down the edges of the paper. Didn't really work out. It limited the movement of the paper, and it actually didn't look really nice. So we'll have to find a way to work with that somehow in the future. Okay. Now we are getting close to this part. I'm just going to make this one shape. Here, and we are going to make something grow out of here. Not exactly what I wanted, but I'll just correct this one a bit. I can already hear some of you hissing that I'm messing up the picture. But we'll see in the end. You know, like Hollywood people say, we'll fix it in post. Of course, before I upload this to Redbubble, I have to do a bit of a digital cleanup, because we don't want people to buy products with a whole bunch of ink blotches all around. But this one so far is quite clear, so very, very minor corrections are needed. Okay, now I don't really like this part because, as I said, we don't want exactly diagonal or perpendicular breaks in the floor. but we'll see. Maybe we'll come back to it. Maybe we can leave it. See. I think I can build around it. Yeah, sometimes these pictures turn into something completely different from what you started out. Oh, that's life. You start something, you have your big dreams, and when things change or things don't really want to work out, you either keep crying or you adapt and move on and accept that you have to run on a different track. Let's see. When the image is finished, Patreon supporters of the third tier, you will see on the Patreon support, the ones who are supporting me with the utility builds, can get 1200 DPI high definition scan of this image. So if you're interested in seeing even the fabric of the paper, you can get the image in such a high resolution, and you will see what could not be seen on this video. Okay, we are not rushing it. If you ever attempt drawing something like this, you have to be careful that you cannot rush it. You have to keep the pace and not start jumping around or becoming impatient or anything like that, because that will be the end of the drawing. That will destroy the whole concept, the whole general vibe of it, and most likely you will start making mistakes. Okay. Now you see the paper here is already coming up quite a lot. You can see the shadow under it. So that's why I'm just barely touching. And it's already giving full coverage with the ink. That's also one of the reasons why I'm not selling the original of these drawings. Maybe a few decades from now, because these are quite in bad shape in the end. So they are just a basis for the rest of the digital work. And for example, when one of these wave shapes becomes this sort of a big belly shape, then you can just continue with one of these crescents. Please tell me how to pronounce it, because I've heard various forms. But with these little half moons, you can create these shrinking patterns. Slowly dip into the pattern or the flow next to it. And give a whole new effect. Sorry if I wander off or go into a bit of rambling, but as you can see, I'm still working. So Okay, this one here has a bit of a dip, so I'll use that. Okay, that's nice. And we'll give a bit of, we will not give a final one because this, you see this wave part, this comes back here a bit. So that would sort of break the rhythm of these crescents. So actually I'm going to leave it like this, and we could use this as a focal point for another pattern from here out. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. Okay, now how to get out of here with this one? I think I'll just let this part grow out. Yeah, that will be much better. And hopefully in the end it will look like something. Because I tried to create pictures that resembled, I don't know, animals or whatever. Let's just say I have to keep working on that. Because it didn't fully work out. Like, I was looking up reference images, and I realized, for example, the head of a buffalo or a bison, it's kind of like really empty. Like there's hardly anything. You know, 2 eyes on the sides, the horns, the nose, and in between there's basically this giant gap of nothing, just fur. And you either leave that empty or you start building the pattern as the fur between the rest of the features, and that's gonna be just torture. Like going through that just repetitive pattern for the majority of the image is like, no thanks. Okay, let's see. It goes and goes and grows and grows. I think I'll yeah, make a breakout here with a bit of a wave. Now this is also something I don't specifically like to see in my images, when they become these parallel lines, but we'll make something out of it. And maybe a jump to the left, or step to the right. Okay. Now let's see. Let's go this way. And then we'll do something on the other side, because I'm really starting to focus on this part. And that's going to take a whole lot of time. And in the end, you have just half a picture, which is not what we want. Okay. Let's see. I see some drying here. Okay. Well, if it stays flowery in its general shape by the end, we can still call it just like, I don't know, the alien lotus. or a dandelion from Mars or whatever. That's the worst part when you draw something like this. You're really in the picture, so in the end you don't see sort of anything in the pattern because you lived over an hour in between those shapes, and then you actually have to give it a name. So that's when I sometimes go to my mother or my wife and ask them what it looks like for them. And they say, oh, this looks like a whatever wolf or a spider or whatever. And I made a mistake. Okay, now this one was not needed. This is a bit of a mistake. So in post, this shape I'm gonna trim down just a bit to have the gap in between. But yeah, it happens. So yeah, maybe I should try to do these in larger format, and I wouldn't be working with 1mm gaps, but like really have free space. But maybe that would be too easy. And I don't like it when it's too easy. It has to be hard and difficult and devastatingly exhausting. No, it's just I need a bit of a challenge. And for example, when I learned how to do origami cranes, I think that was. And I tried to do them with one hand. Yes, like in the Ghost in the Shell standalone complex series. And then I learned to do them behind my back. So without looking at the paper and just by touch. It was fun. After I did like, I don't know, 100, it was quite enough of that fun. But at least that was an interesting gimmick. Okay, let's see. We really should do something about this one to break it out and break it up somehow. I think I'll let this one grow further. So you see, when the whole thing gets a bit more dense, you go into this problem-solving mentality. So instead of just freely creating what you want and what your dreams are and whatever, instead of that, you go into this, oh, there's a situation which I need to resolve. There's an issue, there's a gap, there's an empty part, something is too close to the other one, something is too far. And relaxing little doodling becomes this really exhausting mental exercise. And that's why usually I'm drawing these in small sizes, because even one of these takes about an hour, sometimes more, and you get utterly exhausted by the end. And earlier I was doing larger images, but I noticed that that of course took several sessions to finish, like sometimes several days. And I noticed that basically the pattern, the appearance of it changed between the sessions. So the mood, or my mood of that day, was really visible on different sections of the picture. So that was kind of weird. Like it was revealing how my perception or my mentality changed from one day to the other. I think I'll just do this. Give it a final big bulb. And then we can grow something out of that. Okay. Of course, if you have any questions about this drawing method or about my whole channel, whatever, just please comment, just engage. Because I always keep forgetting to ask people to comment on my videos. So now I remembered it. So we really need to build up an audience. Although I'm doing multiple very different things with my channel, but hopefully people will appreciate that. And when I started the whole YouTube thing, I've seen a lot of people say that you have to niche down, find your very, 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 very specific niche. And I didn't like that, because nobody is just one subject. Nobody is just one theme. When I'm watching things on YouTube, I jump between movie reviews, video game reviews, educational material, music, entertainment, funny short videos and all that. So I'm jumping back and forth. So why would I limit my own channel to one specific subject? I want it to be a all-round, semi-educational and entertaining channel, so that after a while everybody can find something to watch under my banner. Okay, now this is getting a bit boring in this part, and we are still not working on this part, so I think I'm going to grow this part out a bit and see where we can go from there. Just give a bit of extra here. I'm really going to the side with this, I'm sorry. So yeah, so that's why I will do more with the channel. And also because the two main subjects which I started with, the helping people with the adaptation in a large corporate environment, and sharing my experiences with starting a business, these are not bottomless wells. So most likely after a while I will run out of material for those themes. So I want to keep it interesting. Put in some videos about art, about my drawings. Maybe later I'll do I don't know, reviews of art pieces, or maybe movie reviews, if anyone is interested in my opinion about some of those. Although I will be harsh but fair. But you have to be honest, lately the movie industry is not exactly up to the level of what would be required for the title of quality entertainment. Let's see, let's give here a small petal too. Okay, if you hear the voice of a child in the background, that's my daughter. Although she's downstairs, sometimes her voice manages to reach the upper level. Okay, let's see. Okay, filling up nice. Now, the other thing that you have to be careful with these images, pictures, that you have to decide if you want something really crowded, really dense, that you're filling up almost every available space with something, or you want it loose, a bit more relaxed, a bit giving a bit of space in between the major sections. We'll see how it goes. This one is nice. Okay, we should do something in this part to balance out this section. Yeah. Possibly I'm just going to mess up the whole thing now, but we'll see. Okay, let's continue with these. Okay. Now, sorry for the big silence, I'm just focusing. Why was the camera shaking so much? Okay, I was not really shaking the table, although it's not very sturdy. Okay. Not exactly what I wanted. I think I'll break this one into a wave rather. This is risky. I'm not usually doing these changes, but this one ended up in something really not nice. Okay, just thicken this one a bit, and this one too. Okay, so now we have a bit of a pattern to follow. So I'm going to do one crescent here. Still visible? Still visible. Okay, sorry. Okay, and another wave here. Okay, now we are getting somewhere. Okay. Well, these type of images I've been drawing maybe like 25 years or so. I started back in high school, and I'm now, well, maybe in pre-high school or so. Now I'm closing up on 42, so it was quite some time ago. But it's always interesting to come back to this style because I always over and underestimate myself in this. So I am like, oh, I cannot do this. This is too complex. This is too tiring, too whatever. And I just keep working at it, and it turns into something quite nice. Okay, except when you make a bunch of mistakes. We'll fix it in post. Okay, now we should do something here. Oh, maybe we could do some sort of halo around it, and then create some lines as connections. But this became too thick at this part. Okay, let's see. Yep. We'll do something here. Well, what you see now is the reason why drawing digital is really difficult for me, because I'm using this uncertain, unconfident line technique. I'm just really careful at this part. And it's also when you're drawing straight up with ink, what you draw is on the paper. You cannot hide it anymore. So yeah, you tend to be careful in general. Okay, let's see. Let's go with this one. Because a digital drawing, you need confident handling of the pen. Otherwise, you spend your days just undoing and redoing a single line. Or you actually figure out a way to draw a rough sketch and actually erase what you don't need from it, and then have something in a very strange but unique style. Okay. This is... Well, I wanted to create something flowery, but this starts to look more like something H.P. Lovecraft would write about. Let's see. It's like an elder one from top view. Well, if you don't know what I'm talking about, then look up H.P. Lovecraft and read some of his works. And then you might actually understand more of this style. Okay, let's see. This is a bit rough here. Okay, we can use this one. Use it to lead into this pattern below. Okay, we're still within frame. Sorry for the big quiet pauses. To be honest, I'm still practicing this whole talking while drawing. Usually I get completely lost in the images. It's like the whole thing is just a semi-conscious creative process. I'm not fully in control of what I'm drawing. I'm just channeling the intention of the image. No, really, it sometimes goes into this meditative experience, and the image brings itself into existence. And just a small bit here. Okay, this is a rough corner, but we'll make something of it. Okay, let's grow this one out here. The trusty crescent shapes. Sorry if my S's and Z's, and so the sibilance is a bit strong, but I've struggled with filtering out sibilance for about a month and a half. Then I gave up. The most I could reach as an effect was that I either heard a really strong sibilance in my voice, like really piercing S's, or I sounded like, after filtering, I sounded like I had a lisp, though like I didn't have any at all. The whole thing was really that sounding funny. So yeah, if I will find a way to get rid of that, then that will be nice, but in general I try to focus on pronouncing the things, the S's, a bit softer, because I realize that when I say something with an S in it, somehow my tongue curls up into almost like a pipe or a flute and gives a real piercing effect to the whole thing. Okay, now this is getting crowded, but we'll see. I think this will be something extraterrestrial at the end. That happens. You start with something really nice, an idea, and you end up with something otherworldly. Oh great, my eyes are starting to act up. Sometimes when you stare at the lit paper for a long time, you start to see stars, or the whole thing starts to shift out of focus, and that's not good. Okay, just a tiny bit here, and I'm messing it up. Okay, and we continue following along this wave, just building up a bit more mass to this appendage. Okay. And you see, basically, I'm just kind of doodling almost the same shape over and over again, and just building something out of it. It's like drawing Lego bricks, and in the end you end up with a castle. So basically, if you can draw a curved line and another one meeting at the points, or a wave, then you can do this. It just needs a bit of practice and a lot of patience. Okay. And I've seen a lot of people who are like, oh no, I can't draw, I'm not really good at this and all that, and then they suddenly drew something awesome that like really showed that they have very special talents. I don't know what I'm doing here. Whatever, I'll make a turn. It's still visible what I'm doing? Okay, it is visible. Why am I moving out of the center constantly? Okay, paper bending up again. And when you do something like this with ink, you really have to test various types of paper because some of them are just soaking it up and you make a tiny dot and it floods the whole paper. And also make sure that you have nothing greasy around you. So if you're working, drawing at the table, that you also sort of live around and eat or anything, a single speck of grease can just stain the whole thing bit by bit. And that's really not something that you would like to experience. Okay, we'll turn this in. Yeah. Okay, and yeah, we'll just continue along this one, giving it a bit of extra width or girth. And then it's just a few dots just to symbolize that the pattern continues there behind the scenes. Okay, let's see. Now this is getting a bit more balanced, to be honest. Okay, this part would need something. This part and a slight bit here, and then we can create the connections to the corners so that the whole thing would have, when put into a pattern, a grid, then it will actually look like a pattern. Okay, let's say okay, I'm still in frame, good. Now hopefully later on I will be able to get a proper drawing table and then set up the camera in a way that's perfectly aligned, because now I'm working with, let's just say, with what I have. My final larger purchases were these cranes for the camera and the microphone, these arms, and let's just say it's not exactly the way I wanted it. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, I use the phrase final because I'm not really spending any money anymore, because currently I don't have any income. Like that would be any public information, but I'm trying to make this whole little business of YouTube, Redbubble, smallest astronaut on Amazon, all of it work. But we'll see. If it doesn't work, then we'll adapt. Okay, let's see. Okay, just not rushing it, not rushing it. I have to remind myself, otherwise I start making mistakes. How long have I been doing this? Oh, we're nearing up on an hour. Yeah, time flies when you're channeling eldritch beings through a drawing. Okay, yeah, a bit here, more here, we'll see. And it's funny that I actually wanted to create something flowery, but then got carried away. So it happens. I really need to practice drawing something that actually resembles something that exists in our reality. Okay, and let's lead this one into the other one. Okay. Let's see. This seems a bit empty on that part, and this needs something extra. Okay. Well, in the end, we might just fill up the whole picture and just figure out a name for it. Okay, filling up this part nicely. Just continuing a bit. Okay, that looks a bit nicer. And let's see, I think I'm going to divert this one down here, and then we'll do something here, just a bit here, and then we can make the connections, and we can call it the, I don't know, the hourglass elder being staring into nothingness. Whatever. You see, that's the part where I start losing the no, not my mind, but when I start losing the concept, like I don't know what I'm drawing anymore. I'm just going along, and I'm just paying attention to where it looks a bit empty or crowded. If the sort of the balance of the image is right or not. So that's why it's like this. Yeah, the name controlled abstraction is quite fitting for this style. I'm controlling the individual components mostly, but I have no idea what the whole image is going to be. And I do recall once I drew a few things that actually resembled some things, but it was a long time ago. Okay, let's see. Oh great, my ear started ringing. Just what I needed. Okay. I'm filling up this one a bit. In the future, there will be videos about different type of drawings, like more cartoonish or comic book-like things, because I'm trying to diversify my portfolio on Redbubble with some sort of funny or more expressive designs. Two of them are already up there. The frustration and the burnout. So links will be in the description. So if you're interested in that or would like to support me by buying a couple of them, that would be also appreciated. Let's see, this looks more developed. Yeah, here we need a bit of extra, maybe just leading it down here. Yeah. Yep. And this is going to work out nice. This looks more interesting. Okay. That is definitely something. I have no idea what it is, but it's something. Okay, let's finish up these. Well, I will have to give a title to the video and the design as well. I would like to hear or read your opinion what this thing is. Just to have a fun little exercise, like what do you think this is? Like in this way or whatever. Because I am really at a loss for words about what this could be. Okay, then let's make a few connections to the corners and to the sides, so the whole thing looks like it's in contact with the rest of its brethren. Okay, let's see. Let's go from... I don't really want to break the shape much, so I think I'll have two connections there. Yeah. That was a confident line and it ended up in a mistake. Because I did not calculate with the paper jumping back up. I should have taped it down. Oh joy, I think the pen is running out of ink. It's getting significantly drier. We'll see if it lasts till the end. I have to work a bit harder on it. Okay. And let's make another one from here. Or not. This is one of the tricky parts, because I don't want to break the pattern here with a perpendicular thing. That from here we could, but for that I would wait. We'll do it in two parts. Okay, let's make it like this. Okay. Not rushing, not rushing. Okay. And then we can continue like that, and that would fit the other one. Okay. Yeah. Not cooperating. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Managed to hit it. Okay. Yeah, this span is definitely losing its edge. Well, it still works, just not as smoothly as 2 images earlier. Okay, and we'll make the connections here, here, and here, and we'll see if it's better with the empty connections or we should fill it up. Okay, this is gonna take long, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, now go with this flow. Okay. This became a bit too thin. We have to then thicken it a bit. Okay, let's see, let's see, let's see. It seems a bit too straight. It will solve that later on. Okay. Yeah, we have to make this a bit thicker. These bulges or whatever are a bit too strong. Okay, a bit better, bit better. And this one. How to do it now? Yeah, should do it like this. Yeah. Yep, there. So you see, confident lines. But sometimes it's more difficult to control the curve this way, and you make much bigger mistakes with it. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Looks a bit weird. Yeah, this seems a bit sort of unnatural. Like it really looks artificial. So we'll make some filling into that part. Okay, let's see these corners. Okay, this one gives itself that we're going like this. Okay, and then from here, these go like this. So, yeah, like that. This is a bit touch and go. Let's start from here. Okay. Now you see, sometimes just connecting 2 points, getting from A to B, can be stressful enough without all the rest of the complications, but when you're working in the crowded part, at least you know where your limits are. Here you can deviate in any direction and mess up the whole thing. I should use something thicker to fill up these. And it's working out fine. Okay, yeah, this pen is not going to survive another drawing. The coverage is not even close to what it was at the beginning. Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah, let's see this one. It goes like this. I come now. Yeah, if I yeah, let's go from here. Could work, a bit risky. Let's risk it. Okay. Risk paid off. Okay. Let's see. Just making sure the corners are thickened up and the edges too, to make it easier to fill in the rest. It just goes back to the kindergarten coloring rules. To make sure that you don't go over the line. Oh, this pen is really not covering nicely. Come on. Okay, I think I'm just going to switch over to a different one, because this is going to take way too long to finish it with this one. And I don't want to rob your time. Already over an hour now. Okay, yeah, let's go with this one. Great, I have a fruit fly here. Fantastic. Let's see. I'm just doing these corners and do some minor filling to give it a more natural flow into these larger shapes. And yeah, that's gonna be it. Now I have to make a very, very quick measurement because I want to hit the exact center of the edges. Just have to find, oh yeah, I have the ruler here. Okay, this is gonna be really awkward, sorry. Okay, 10 centimeters, it's like 5 here. Okay, and 10 centimeters, yeah, 5 here. Now this is really not nice as I'm doing it, but I have to make sure that the whole thing is properly aligned. Fish. Otherwise, in the end product, it's gonna just look terrible. 1.5. Okay. So let's see, we can go here. Yep. And from... Oh. Let's go from the corner, just for fun. Just follow that wick. Okay. Okay, this is really terrible. I'm just getting a new pen, just a moment. I'm sorry for wasting your time with this, but this is really not working out great, and I can't get the tape off. Okay, just a small technical pause. This 122. Okay, no technical pause, we're continuing. The tape melted onto itself, so I cannot get it off. I don't have the tape roll up in here. So yeah, we'll just continue with this and see if it lasts till the end. Okay. I'm not trying to rush it at the moment, but I would really need to finish this up because it's a bit exhausting after a while. My eyes are getting tired from the glare from the paper. Okay, let's see. Let's go with this. Still in frame, okay. Here. That would be the opposite. Okay, well, we sort it out. Okay, I just checked that I didn't stop the recording. That's one of the most annoying things when you spend a lot of time on something and you realize that you didn't even click record. Because why would you? The other problem is when you don't know if what you see is actually a gap in the coverage of the ink or just glare from the lights. Okay, let's go with this. Yep. Well, this definitely developed into something completely different than what I originally wanted. Well, that's interesting. I thought that I'll be done within an hour. Closing in on 90 minutes. It's over 2 o'clock. Okay. Going this way, yeah. Okay. There will be a small cut here because actually it's now lunchtime and my family is waiting for me. But I will finish this up. For you it will be one continuous video, of course, but there will be a cut now here. So we just need to finish this one angle and fill these up to make it a bit more natural, so not to have these sudden triangular breaks in it. So yeah, small cut. I'll be back and we'll finish it up. Thanks. So hi guys, we're back and we'll continue with finishing this drawing. So let's see what we have here. Basically the plan is to fill these out a bit more to give it a more natural look and to finish this one here. So I'll start with this part. Just doing a small wave. Yeah, doing it with the confident single moves instead of the scratchy stuff. Doesn't hurt to practice. Okay. Let's see. Yep, that's nice. And then this part. Like that. Okay. So much for the confident moves. And you see, just for a split second, my pen was longer here, so it immediately made that extra blotch or whatever. So you have to be careful. You have to keep moving with these pens, otherwise the paper will absorb more of the ink than you wanted. And just work with very light touches. Okay, that's nice. Okay, this one will fix it in post. Okay, then let's fill it out a bit at the corners just to give it a bit more natural transition into these appendages. Okay, let's see, we can work with this one first. Okay, just going with the crescents. And just working it slowly into a small sloping shape. Okay. Oh, I just went cross-eyed for a moment there. This is actually not bad now. So just got that bit of extra there. Okay, let's make this one. This is a bit more tricky because I have to work in reverse on that. Or I'll just let this one grow out. And bring it in. Okay, we're almost there. This didn't improve much on the natural sloping. I'll just give an extra section here. I might come back to this later. Okay, now this one is really harsh here, so it goes into almost a geometrical shape. So let's bring that one in as well. Just bit by bit. I'm still in frame, okay. And now you can see the shakiness of my hand. So that's why I have to be careful with it. That comes from almost 2 decades of very, very relaxing work and very healthy habits in eating and drinking sugary drinks. Okay, this looks a bit better. That's good. That's good. Let's go here because this is quite empty. Yeah, regarding the sugary drinks and all that, it's not likely that I would ever sponsor any of the energy drinks or the soft drinks because they're really, really not good for you. I've been drinking them for a large majority of my life. In the last few years I switched over to just mineral water. There is quite a difference. Like it takes a while to adapt to the new sustenance, but it's worth it because a whole bunch of issues just slowly fade away because these high sugar drinks are really just pushing your brain into an unhealthy level of activity and not really helping with anything. Okay, let's see. Yeah, basically in these videos you can expect me to start rambling about anything. So that's why I'm telling you, if it annoys you or distracts you from the image, then just turn it off. I don't mind. Especially if you work in an environment where you constantly have to talk to and listen to people, like a call center. I fully understand that at the end of the day you just do not want to hear anyone talk. So just put on your favorite music and meditate. Okay. Okay, looks a bit more natural. This one is a bit empty still. So I'll put something here. Shaky hands. Come on, come on. Okay, drifting out of focus again. Okay. Just do the tip here. Okay, looks a bit more natural. Not fully satisfied with this part, but we'll get back to that. We'll see how it looks overall in the end. Okay, this one we need to bring in. About doing these drawing sessions live, like with live streaming. But most likely, first of all, I wouldn't be able to keep an eye on the chat. And second, and it would take far longer with me constantly checking what people write. So at the moment it's this one-sided thing, sorry. And we'll see what we can make out of it, what would be possible later on. At the moment I'm quite limited in my options. And when you reach the glorious age of 40 and you have family and a child, then you'll understand why it's difficult to plan anything ahead and get free time for things like a live chat session or a streaming session. Okay. Yeah, you might have noticed that the pen is working much better now. I did actually replace it behind the scenes and pre-taped a few more of them just to make sure that we don't end up with a situation where I run out of ink and would need a new one but cannot get the tape off of it, and we need to spend several extra minutes just trying to get a new pen ready for work. Most likely I should just clarify that whole affiliate marketing thing with the manufacturer of the pens, because the pens are really good. They're really good for this type of work. But at least I like them, because I tried a whole bunch of them. I tried to do these drawings with pencil and with ballpoint pens and things like that, and somehow the coverage of the ink wasn't really nice, or with the pencils it became quite messy after a while. But these pens were quite nice. They work quite nicely and they give a good coverage, so you can really get a high contrast in the image. So when I realized that I want to start making a living off of my drawing, of my art, so to say, the controlled abstraction, I just ordered a bunch of these pens, like 20 or 40 of them, so that wait, is that, oh, there's a bit of glue on my nail from the tape, sorry. Okay. So I wanted to be really prepared to have enough pens, especially when I was drawing the Adventures of the Smallest Astronaut Book 1, available in all regions of Amazon with reduced prices. Links will be in the description. Sorry, but we have to make a living. So basically, when I was drawing that, I realized that I will need a huge amount of pens to make sure that I'm not running out in the middle of the book, because I had the story outlined, then the actual text for it, and I had the major scenes in my head, which I wanted to put into the book as coloring pages. So I made some rough sketches of them, then a bit more refined drawings, and then with these pens I went through them to make them really these high contrast images, and that needed a lot in the end. All of these stages are also available on my Patreon, so the supporters of the second tier get access to the sketches of various stages. So if you're interested in that, and second tier supporters also get access to future sketches of the works. If there will be a second book, which I really hope there would, if someone would be buying the first one, so those sketches will be available for the supporters, and also for the non-abstract designs for Redbubble, the sketches will be uploaded too. So if you're interested in the various stages of my drawings, then you can check them out there. Yeah, working with high contrast images, the problem is that the bright sections of the paper are kind of exhausting your eyes after a while. Let's give something here just to fill it out a bit. So it's kind of like the glare of the paper that tires your eyes after a while. That's why, for example, if you work digital, then you should shift the background from white to something a bit darker, like a mid-tone gray or so it doesn't tire your eyes that heavily. Okay, just making a turn here. Very, very light touches. Just ending it in this section. Okay. Okay, this looks a bit more natural. That one's fine, that one's acceptable. This is a bit empty, but not bad. I think we'll make something in this section. And here. Okay. But we're getting closer to a final product. The most ideal part of this image. Small space, big dreams. Yeah, okay, yeah, let's leave it like that. And yeah, these two are a bit empty here. I'll try the same here. I might just mess it up in the end, but we'll see. Just make this one a bit thicker, and this short and thin, and that will drive the whole thing into an arc. Okay. Too many sudden movements. Should not rush it. Should not rush it. Okay. And it's not bad. I think we can leave it like that. This is not the worst I've done. Yeah, I think I'll leave it like that before I mess it up even more. So yeah, that will be it for this video. I thank you for your patience that you lasted through this almost 2 hours with me. And so this was basically a sample video of what to expect on the Patreon exclusive contents. So if you wish to support me with the price of a jar of pickled beets, then you can have access to these kind of videos and early access to my other more business type videos, and hope you will enjoy them. And even if you just share this video with others to get interest or a bit more traction for my channel, that would be highly appreciated. So if you like, then likes are highly welcome. If you share it, that's really appreciated. If you would like to see more of these, then subscribe or support me on Patreon. And if you wish to support me through other ways, then you can do that by buying any of the products with my designs on Redbubble, or a copy or two of the Adventures of the Smallest Astronaut available on all regions of Amazon currently. Okay, thank you for your time, and bye.